So this afternoon we're here to have a look at our avocado trees. All winter I basically ignored them. At the beginning of winter I put this plastic up to protect them from frost, and as there was been plenty of rain over winter, really there was nothing more that we could actually do other than just let them be. So now that the weather's warming up, as you can tell by the short sleeves, it's the end of October here, and while we've had some still occasional cool night, it's about a week since we had the last very, very mild frost, and I don't expect any more. What is it, Samuel?
I'm going to be drilling the lot two.
In a minute, yes. So we're going to take this off now because I don't think we're going to need it anymore.
Daddy uses screws to keep it on, so we have to. That's why we got this Lelo screwdriver.
That's right, Samuel. And we'll see what they look like.
Yes,
so where you go, Samuel? Take them off.
Whoa.
Oh, you might have to go the other way though. You have to switch it over so that it comes out, and make sure they're in, that it sits in there properly, and there it is. Whoa, that was quick. Just push it in a bit harder, Samuel. So it goes in. That's it, and that's out in a flash.
I don't even reach that part.
You can't reach that far, okay. But there might be another one over the other side you can do though.
Yeah, maybe.
So can you get in, Samuel? Almost. Oh, good climbing. Right, let's have a look. See what these look like.
This is so weedy, guys. Look at all these weeds, guys.
That's one side off.
Oh.
So can you get in, Samuel? Almost. Oh, good climbing. Right, let's have a look. See what these look like.
This is so weedy, guys. Look at all these weeds, guys.
So this one, first one here particularly, doesn't look very exciting. It's looking rather yellow in the leaves. It's really struggled through winter again. This is the second time it's struggled. Last spring it was trying to put out some flowers. I don't see any sign of that happening yet.
No, none.
But also over last summer, this one didn't really produce any growth. It simply managed to put out those new leaves, and that was the end of it. Everything's pretty weedy in here, so it's going to need a good clean up.
Yeah, weed.
Now, let's go and have a look at the one at the back.
Yeah.
So this second one looks a little bit better, but it's still fairly yellow.
Yeah.
Part of that is basically the cold, but I just don't think they're doing that well. Not as good as I would hope them to do. Of course, we've got a black wattle here that's coming up at the back, or a couple of them, and they need to come out. So the first thing I'm going to do is give this place a really good clean up.
Oh yeah, me need a really good one. This one has 100 weeds.
Well, the chickweed is nice and soft and is very easily removed. And thankfully those young wattle trees didn't have very deep roots and pulled out nice and easily. So now we can see what the ground looks like and get an idea perhaps what I want to do. I'm somewhat disappointed with the way these are performing. I'd hoped that they would be growing a little bit better by now. So to give them the best chance, my approach is going to be to give them a good dose of blood and bone each, probably some extra compost on, maybe some other mulch as well. One thing I decided to do with the blood and bone was to water it in really well. That way I can know that some of that is going to get to the roots reasonably quickly. So I then followed that with some compost, as I mentioned, and I've followed it also with some mulch, which is all in wood chip. Now this is the stuff that you've seen me using in the veggie garden recently. It is partially composted, and I found it really good for weed suppression and for holding the moisture in the ground. So with that on now, it's got, I think, the best chance as far as the soil's concerned that I can think of. If anyone has any other ideas as to what I can do to really make these avocados jump and start to look alive, I'd love to hear them. Maybe I will give them some seaweed fertiliser throughout the summer to give them a bit of extra mineral. But I've got one more thing to do before I leave them, and that is to ensure that the irrigation system is actually working now, because as we move into the next few months, it's going to rapidly begin to dry out. So I'll go and check what's happening with the timer and see if we can get some water flowing. I'm not sure how well you'll see here because there's quite a bit of contrast in the light as this tap is just in the shade, but it hasn't been utilised for some months, and I've got a lithium battery in there, so I'm interested to see if it's still registering and what it's looking like. So this is a Holman smart valve, and I do have a video on this when I installed it, so I will go into the Holman app and see what is happening with it. According to this app, the battery is still full. It's fully charged battery, and I've got a full strength signal there. I'm not sure if you can see that there. Avocados showing, so we'll go into zone management. We'll run that 3 times a week, and I will see if that will successfully update, because that really is what tests the battery properly. Hoping you can see this on the screen. It says it's done, it's good. Now I'm going to do a temporary turn on to actually see how it works. Now there is a manual run here, so we'll hit start and see if we can hear it switching on. This particular timer doesn't work very well on the manual. It tends to cycle on and off, which is a problem. So I'll need to test it another way. Okay, if I've been successful, it should turn on in about 3 minutes time and start to water. So I will go back and see what happens. I'm quite impressed that after sitting for a whole winter, this battery is still working. The ones that I've used are these Energizer lithium batteries in them. They're a bit more expensive, but in terms of lifetime in these automatic valves, they do much better. I generally find that you basically get 3 to 4 months of operation out of one of these batteries. It does depend on how frequently you're actually running the timer and how often it's switching, of course. Okay, we're here at the sprinkler, and if I've timed it correctly and set it up right, the water should start to run in a few seconds. Okay, I can hear it coming now. It's starting to turn on, so that's right on time. This other one too is watering very well. It's all nice and clear. So now I've established that that's working and working well, I will set the time for the correct time of day that I want it to work, which is usually very early in the morning when I'm not doing any other watering. And we'll see how these go. Really, this summer is the last chance, I think, for these trees to actually make some progress. If they don't turn around and start to grow this summer, they'll probably fail. Last summer they were set back by the fact that in the spring they actually lost all their leaves and grew new ones and attempted to flower as well. I'm hoping this year that that doesn't happen. I'm hoping that with these leaves they have, that they green up and start to actually develop more and show some growth. But time will tell, and look, I'll come back with an update probably in about 6 months' time towards the end of the summer, and we'll see how they've gone.